Now 5:30, I'd like to call the meeting to order. At this time, I'd like to have Bryce to come up and open us up. Opening prayer, please.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thanks so much for this day. Thank you for allowing all these members of the community to gather together. Lord, thank you so much for the wisdom and the guidance you've given these council members as they guide our city in a direction, Lord. Thank you so much for our fire and our police and everyone who serves this community, Lord. Thank you and protect them as they do their jobs, Lord. Please give us comfort in this time of sorrow as we've lost one of our own. And please comfort his family. And it's in your son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, Mr. Davis, would you please verify the roll?
All present except Ms. Hopper.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the previous two meetings?
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the prepared agenda?
So moved.
Motion is second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, next on the agenda is citizens' comments, and the comments must pertain to city business. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the council? Yes, ma'am. Please come forward. Please state your name and your address, please. Yes, please. Thank you. And you may want to pull that mic. Can you reach that, or we can? Yeah, just a little closer. Yeah, just slide it your way. It may well. It's not. You're okay. You're all right.
He's got it wrapped around.
Yeah, I think they've got it tied back there. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm Jennifer Dempsey. Thank you for letting me speak. I live at 1625 Moss Street, Batesville. Thank you. Okay, so as you may be aware, AT&T is laying fiber optic in the neighborhood. Moss Street is the little street that intersects Timberland, Shade Tree, and Juniper along the back there. And they're making a mess. And they've made a mess of my yard. So SDT is the contractor for AT&T. And I've given you pictures there. The first picture is the ditch they dug across my entire front yard. And then the next one is the hydraulic breaker that they used for 2 days straight to pound the rock that was under in that ditch. And it's been a problem. So it has caused me to have sewage problems. I had sewage back up 3 different times from when I would do laundry or use the dishwasher. Sewage came up in both bathtubs and in both commodes and all over the floor in my hall bath. And I talked to AT&T, and they sent out the SDT people who have been nothing but gruff and rude and intimidating. And we've been into a couple of arguments with heated voices. And they did fix one pipe. You can see that's the third picture, the busted pipe. They said they had absolutely it was not their fault whatsoever. But they replaced one pipe, even though on the text they told me they were going to take care of everything. I have many, many photos, a voice recording, and many text. So that's in a nutshell. I know I only have 3 minutes, but one of the SDT workers made a comment to me when I came home one day and had that ditch there, and they said what they were going to be doing. And I had just had a new sewer pipe replaced 2 years prior. And I pointed out where that new pipe was. And I said, please be very careful when you're digging. So the next day when I came back, that sewage pipe was busted. And I said, well, that was the pipe that I was talking about. And he said, well, we're going to fix it. But he said, we brought a smaller pipe, and I see this new pipe is larger. So I'm going to have to go get another one. Well, when SDT showed up at my door several weeks later after I had complained about the sewage backup, they said he shouldn't have told you that, and that's not true, although I had seen it with my eyes that there was a smaller pipe and a larger pipe. So it ended up they replaced one pipe, the broken pipe that you see, but the plumbing company that was there with them on site said the rest of it is structurally compromised, and you're going to need to get 60 more feet, 3 20-foot pieces of pipe replaced, the older pipe in my yard. But they weren't going to take care of that. And then they also were not going to, they came into my house because the squishing was in the plank flooring that I'd had just replaced a year before. And when they came there, by the time that they got there, it was no longer squishy. And so he said, well, that's what I thought, meaning he didn't say it, but he implied that I was lying. Anyway, so it's been a lot with them. AT&T, every time I've talked to them, they've been nothing but kind, but SDT has been not nice. So anyway, that's in a nutshell. I have lots to back this up, but I just wanted to make you aware of it.
Okay.
And I'm not asking for money or anything like that. I'm asking them to replace the 60 feet of pipe and to bring a person in to look at the flooring because I'm scared there's going to be mold under there. That's it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for your time.
I'll have our city engineer may elaborate a little bit more on that project here after a while. Like you said, it is AT&T and it's the contractor, subcontractor, and we have had them in this, a different contractor in here, and I know we had a lot of challenges. But anyway, I'll let Damon elaborate a few minutes. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Yes, please come forward.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Shannon Weber. I am a public information officer with the U.S. Small Business Administration. You may have already spoken with my colleague, Gary Anderson, who's been around, but he's actually doing the same thing tonight at another location. So essentially, the purpose of me being here is just kind of share what SBA does, because at the end of the day, everyone kind of understands the role FEMA plays when it comes to natural disasters. And we have a branding issue. When you hear small business, you think we only typically help small businesses. So if I leave you with nothing else, just I wanted to say that probably about 85 to 90% of the systems we offer actually is designed for homeowners and renters. And you'll kind of see that there on the paperwork. But basically what that kind of looks like is, you know, we have our normal Sunshine and Rainbows SBA program that helps with 7A 504 loans that's located in Little Rock. My office, we essentially are deployed from disaster to disaster to disaster. So anything from, you know, if it's a man-made disaster like we saw in New Orleans, New Year's Eve, to we also have decorations that are as small as, you know, could be one individual farm in a county in Iowa. We have different decoration types that are designed for, you know, helping anything as small as one individual to the LA wildfires. So a large scale of assistance we can offer. But what that looks like, they're low interest loans that can go all the way out to 30 years. And then the nice part about that program is the very first year, our system is set up with the survivor in mind, where we don't, we offer no interest and no payments in that first year. And so if I leave you with nothing else, just know that that's a valuable resource, because a lot of people can start with SBA while they wait on, you know, grants or their insurance to kick in. And you can use our program to get you started in the rebuilding process. And then once your insurance writes a check, turn around and just pay it back. Use Peter to pay Paul, for lack of a better word. But as far as monetary numbers, you're looking at, for the homeowner, can go all the way up to $500,000 for personal or for physical damages to a building or your property. And that can cover anything from as small as, you know, missing shingles on your roof to all the way if you had a complete structure loss. And we also offer personal property loans, which can cover anything from your vehicle to, you know, the clothes on your back, all the daily necessities. For this disaster declaration, for the flooding and the tornadoes, that's at a 2.75% interest rate. And again, can go all the way out for 30 years. The business side, and for nonprofits as well, they can do 30-year terms, but they can go all the way up to $2 million. And that's for physical damages. But also they have one called economic injury, and that's a working capital loan that covers anything from, you know, your health insurance to accounts payable, payroll, all the things to keep a business afloat. But the nice thing about our idle loan program is it's actually designed to go out 6 more months further than when our physical damages deadline is, just because it may take a quarter or two before you really see the effects of a natural disaster. So hopefully between that and what I've shared with you there and the flyers, that kind of gives you a brief overview of our information. Again, at the end of the day, I hope you never have to use us, but it's also better to, you know, inform you what is available, not just FEMA. There are other assistance programs out there. And so worst case scenario, we are here again at another point in time, you know, to think of SBA as well. And if you have any questions, please, I can leave some business cards, but also Gary is here locally in town, that if you need anything, please get in touch with us. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone else? If not, let's move on to first agenda item, Police Chief John Scarborough.
Good afternoon. I printed off the wrong thing, so I'm just looking at my phone to what I sent you guys. So, we were down on calls in May. Accidents were down quite a bit, which was good for us. Basically, everything on the spectrum was down, which was an improvement. I don't know why. I'm hoping it's because the guys are out of course and everything.
Because y'all been writing tickets.
But we have been writing tickets. The guys just finished last week. They finished the Click It or Ticket campaign. And they wrote between 65 citations and 65 warnings combined. Whereas the citations together. We didn't really have anything significant this month as far as any big stuff happen. We did have a break-in at T-Mobile the other night, and with the use of our license plate readers, we were able to locate a suspect at a Little Rock that come down here and broke into T-Mobile, we believe. We also had one of our patrol cars hit this weekend, or last week, and again, we were able to find video of the accident, and then the license plate readers found that guy, which was from Mount Pleasant, and then we used them to recover a stolen license plate, so they've been a valuable tool for us. So I don't really have anything else to let you guys have for me.
Did we find the missing radar thing?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure it's in a box somewhere in the river.
Yeah. Any questions for Chief? Thanks, Chief.
Thanks.
Okay, next on the agenda, Fire Chief Mark McCullum with his monthly report.
How are y'all? Starting out, we had 41 total calls in May. I just went into May. We only had, thank goodness, one structure fire, a couple woods fires, 13 rescues, going down the list, 232 inspections. We've started doing our inspections for the year, so we had to hit every commercial building in the city every year. 124 hours of training, one hazmat scene. We went over 10 plan reviews, new businesses and stuff coming in or additions on businesses that's already here. 4 people went to Hot Springs to fire convention. Learned a lot. So that's about tops the month off.
Okay, any questions for Chief?
Thank y'all. That was easy enough.
Thank you. Okay, Public Works Engineer, Mr. Damon Johnson.
Guys, I guess just a little bit, up there, STD is a contractor working for AT&T. We don't really have much authority over them. Utilities are allowed to place their facilities inside like publicly owned right of ways. So, we can't deny them the opportunity to lay their lines. I do have contact information, which I believe she already has for the AT&T local representation. For others in the neighborhood, I'm sure she's not the only one who's been damaged. So we need to, I'll be sure that Jennifer and whoever answers the phone has that readily available too tomorrow. So when people want to call and get a hold of AT&T, I would encourage them to, I think the AT&T folks would be easy just to say, deal with the contractor. It's their responsibility, but the contractor's going to do their best to get out of anything that they can. So I think that, I just would encourage anybody who's been damaged to really put pressure on AT&T and not accept, just deal with our contractor. I know that in the past we've had similar situations, and from what I understand, if you push hard enough, it'll get dealt with. I mean, I think that there's a known, if they make it difficult, some people will just give up and walk away, and they know that. So just don't, I would encourage their citizens to not give up if they've got a real problem. So we've got contact information for the AT&T reps.
Does the city have any oversight at all in terms of, I mean, if they dig a trench and leave it open and then leave from the job or things like that? Is that
So, I mean, not really. I mean, they would have problems if someone was to fall in. I mean, there's several, they're supposed to abide by OSHA regs, which, if
what
they,
about the closing of the city street?
so closing of the city street, we don't really have a lot of regulations on, I mean, we just use the standard. There's a manual, a manual for traffic. There's a long acronym for it, MUTCD. And there's ways. I mean, essentially, we say use that manual. We don't dictate how someone puts up signage. They should put up signage properly, and ultimately, I think their consequence is not with the city. It will be if someone is harmed in some way, then that person, unfortunately, that person would have to seek rectification, even potentially through the legal system if AT&T or the contractor were unattainable to making things right. So, I mean, they're responsible just like all the other contractors out there. The problem with these utility contractors is they're usually a little loosier-goosier than, what we're used to seeing. Just, I don't really know much else to do other than give people the contact information for the people who are supposed to be the oversight. And, more people call, maybe you'll get their attention. I actually have a meeting with some AT&T folks tomorrow, and I'm going to make my voice heard as well about, what's going on over there.
Good.
So,
What if they damage the streets?
So if they damage the street, we do have some recourse on them. We can try to hold them responsible for that. Again, it'll be the same game.
Yeah.
They'll try to get out of it. But in the past, we have, of course, honestly, this contractor kind of got in and got rolling, and without really knowing about it, we've forced them to put up a bond in the past. It hasn't been very effective, really. But if they damage the street, we will pursue that as well. And I'm sure there's some damage over there. I haven't looked lately, but
I was up that day, and of course they're not flagging.
right.
They've got people and equipment and stuff everywhere, all over every street, every yard tore up,
Yeah.
and they're parked on both sides of the street. You got to weave your way through if you can't get it all. And they're standing there like, you're bothering me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, y'all are getting in their way. They're in a hurry.
They drive very fast too. A bunch of cowboys.
Damon, going back to that bonding, I remember when we had the AT&T, this is before my day, but we had our last AT&T subcontractor here and had similar problems. I remember there was a discussion about requiring some sort of a bond, and you said that hasn't been real effective. Why has that not been effective? Is it something that they come in the dark of night, so to speak, and start their work, and it's hard to get that in place prior to, or
Yeah, so we get zero notification.
Yeah.
Nobody tells us when they're coming, what they're doing, where they're working, any of those things. So, like you say, I mean, they just kind of show up and go to work. And I mean, until there's a problem, sometimes they may be working over in a neighborhood somewhere, and unless somebody drives by and sees them, we don't even know. They might work for weeks. I mean, until they hit something or cause a problem. So that's part of the problem. Yes. I mean, quite frankly, and some of the problem too is us having staff to chase them. We don't have somebody really who can, once we do figure out they're working over there, who can be available to run that down. And I mean, and that's part of the problem too.
Are they required to be permitted or no?
I don't know. I need to go back and I think we've tried to permit them before because we have like a crossing, like an ordinance that really is for like, if your sewer service crosses the road and, we kind of have an ordinance that clearly deals with that and, cut the road and the road gets repaired back. But it doesn't really quite manage these contractors who are coming and just running lines all over the place. And so, I mean, maybe we need to beef that up and look at that some more. Maybe see what some kind of bigger municipalities have done. I'm not sure,
I mean, I'm just thinking if you could be permitted, and you could be inspected and have, guidelines and standards to have to meet. And I know obviously it's catching them in the act. But,
right. Well, and that's,
that could be,
I that's one of my complaints too, that I'm going to voice with AT&T is like, I mean, do y'all not, have some courtesy? I mean, you got my contact information. I mean, just at least send an email like, hey, we're going to have people working, so, I mean, we can look at what ordinances we have on the books and just double check we're not missing something or
we're not going to allow somebody to come in and build a house, build a
that's right.
building in the city. And
right.
so I think it would be along the same lines.
Could yeah.
But to his point, to your point, Scott, if there's a permitting requirement, they don't get the permit, there's fines involved. I think when we get in their pocket, if we get in their pocket, we're going to get their attention. And I agree with you. If we can look at what other municipalities are doing, we don't have to reinvent the wheel on that.
Right.
Would they be under the same thing as like a business license when you come to town? I know we do not have business license that
I don't.
probably
I mean, I think
95% of the communities do, but we do not have a business license. I know that's always been a concern of our police department and especially the fire department because they come into town and, they may buy a building and start construction on it, of course, with a permit, but they have no idea that they have to have health inspections, they have to have, different criteria.
All that, that's obviously there's a utility easement, but that's in the city right of way. Right?
That's correct.
So, if it's our right of way,
we ought to be able to regulate it. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
As far as just regular business, I guess the biggest item is Meyer Street. That intersection's been closed. They're removing asphalt and preparing. There's some dirt work that has to be done, quite a significant amount of dirt work at the intersection, and then also kind of in front of the sheriff's office. And of course, AT&T right now is our favorite subject. We found multiple AT&T lines that we thought had been relocated that are now in the way of construction. So that's why I have a meeting scheduled with them tomorrow. So we can try to work through that, encourage them to move quickly to get those out of the way so they don't interfere with the construction process as much as possible. That project, if the utilities don't inhibit the progress, we should see the roadway, the intersection opening up, sometime this fall or early winter. So they intend to move pretty quickly. And so, that's exciting. I think once people learn to use the roundabout and that intersection will be, shouldn't see those stacks of traffic like we've seen in the past. The water treatment plant, really, it's moving forward, kind of the same report as always. Right now, we're in the mode of forming, tying rebar, pouring concrete. Structures are getting bigger, every week. And won't be long, we'll start seeing some piping and some things kind of start being poured through the walls and kind of put in place too. So, then we've got a long row to hoe there. A lot of concrete to pour, a lot of equipment to install. So, moving forward on that. Parks project is also moving forward. They've been primarily focused on getting rid of the stuff that needs to go away prior to starting their dirt work and starting to rebuild back. So I'm thinking we should start seeing some dirt work in the next week or two starting to happen for the event center specifically. So that'll be good and exciting. The ribbon cutting or the groundbreaking for that's coming up soon, later this month. So that'll be exciting. I think we're working on some banners and some things to help the public envision what's coming. So that'll be exciting to help people get excited. Anyway, other than that, normal operations, all the plants, both the water, wastewater plant are running well. We've got lots of water coming in the wastewater with all this rain, but no issues there. Construction crews are doing their jobs and keeping things fixed, and we hope to be starting. We're on the sewer rehab project. They've got a meter vault, water meter vault between Batesville and Pfeiffer to pour. We added that to that sewer rehab job just because we had a contractor here, and they're out there at the Lutheran Church building that right now. And then hopefully in the next couple months, the sewer rehab portion will actually start. We'll see contractors moving in that'll be doing mostly trenchless, which is we call CIPP, where they kind of run a fiberglass pipe inside the existing pipes, and that'll be starting soon. Not as soon as we'd like, probably, but hopefully in the next 60 to 90 days. So we may start seeing our crews, but we'll keep a tight handle on them around town. We won't let them tear up people's stuff without holding them accountable. So anyway, I don't have anything else unless y'all have something for me.
Okay. Thank you, Damon.
Thank you, guys.
Let's see. We were on B, yes. Okay, next on the agenda is adopt an ordinance, the police department policy manual. If you remember our last council meeting, a voice vote, but we actually need to adopt that by an ordinance. So with that, would someone like to introduce the ordinance?
I will.
Is there a motion to read the ordinance by title only?
Amen.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, council, please cast your votes. And Mr. Meitzen?
Yes, sir. An ordinance adopting the City of Batesville Police Department policies for the City of Batesville and for other purposes.
Any further discussion? Not, is there a motion to further suspend the rules and waive the second and third readings?
Amen.
Second.
Motion second. Council, please cast your vote. Okay, is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Please cast your votes. Okay. Mr. Meissen, would you please read the emergency clause?
Yes, sir. The Batesville Police Department policies directly affect the safety and welfare of the residents of Batesville, Arkansas. Therefore, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Please cast your votes. Okay, next on the agenda is consider a resolution endorsing LaCroix Optical participating in the tax back program. Would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I will.
Is there a motion to read the resolution by title only?
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Please cast your votes. Okay. Mr. Meitzen?
Yes, sir. A resolution of the City Council of Batesville certifying local government endorsement of LaCroix Optical Company to participate in the tax pack program as authorized by Section 15.4.2706D of the Consolidated Consolidated Incentive Act of 2003.
Is there any discussion? Not. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Please cast your votes. Okay, as usual, we have the 2025 financials. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to ask myself, Ms. Davis. And let's move in to mayor comments. Our next regular city council meeting will be on June the 24th. Okay, and also I have on here, I'm looking for permission or resolution to purchase from Advanced Exercise for recumbent bike in the amount of $7,215 from the perpetual maintenance account of the Parks and Rec. And this is for the community center, of course.
Say that again.
It is a permission to purchase a recumbent
Yes.
bike. Yeah, we had
need
one that
those.
is broken.
Okay.
Yes, and you're probably very aware that
Yes.
we need some more recumbent bikes. They're
Yes.
very popular. Yes. Okay, yes, I do need a motion.
Second.
And Julie has seconded that motion for her to get her a bike out there. So do we have any other discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. Okay, the next thing, last time we ended up giving Mr. Jonathan Abbott the permission to go ahead and purchase the slide, but with that, it was over the bid process, so over 50 grand. So we did advertise for this. The only bid that we did get was the slide company. Of course, you know, that's a specialty item. Not everybody's making a slide in their backyard. Well, I did make a few, but most of them were out of Batesville. So, all right. So I'm looking for the approve the purchase of the low bid or the only bid for the Super Mega Slide LLC, $60,930.57.
Where's this going?
This is going to be for the new Christmas lights. There will be 2 rides. It's a dual flume slide, and all we need is snow. So,
What's the budget for that?
yeah, need a motion. Need a motion
Second.
and a second to purchase. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. Okay, Jeff had mentioned the groundbreaking. Hope everyone can hopefully get this on their schedule. It's going to be at 10 a.m. on June the 26th. And this will not be your normal groundbreaking. It's going to be
Not the 23rd.
I'm sorry.
It's the 26th, not the 23rd.
I have June the 26th. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Damon, it's June 26th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. And this is for all the parks. And continue your prayers for the Owens family. We will be celebrating Jeff's life next Tuesday. The service will start at visitation at 12 to about 1:45, and the service will start at 2. And it will be on the Jeff Owens Court at the Batesville Community Center.
17th.
Yes. I believe that's the 17th. Yes, that's correct. All right, let's move on to liaison reports. Ms. Davis, council comments.
Ms. Bennett? None. Mr. Fredericks?
None.
Ms. Hinkle?
None.
Mr. Krug?
Mr. Mayor, you want me to mention about
Absolutely. We had that conversation today, and I think it's worth hearing.
we have 2 young men used to play for Batesville Pioneer. They're playing in the College World Series right now. One plays shortstop for Murray State, Connor Cunningham. He's a freshman. Was a valuable player as a freshman. He started every game for Murray State. He had a 2-run homer last game. But anyway, he's playing the other is Gage Wood. Of course, everybody knows about Gage, okay? First-round draft choice for them. And here's the scary thing, guys. If Arkansas wins the first game, And Murray State wins the first game. Gage be pitching against Connor. And we're going to try to honor these young men, but get them both in town at the same time. To honor them for the city council is going to be tough, but we're working on it, okay? Once again, Murray State plays Saturday at 1. And if they win that, we play LSU at 6. If we win that, then we'll have 2 Pioneers going at it. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been watching these games. I've heard Batesville, Arkansas mentioned quite a bit. Matter of fact, one announcer said, Connor, being from Batesville, isn't that where Gage Wood of Arkansas is from? Okay. So it's been real exciting. So we're going to try to do something for them. So if they play each other, of course, we'll have to root for the Hogs.
Go Hogs.
Mr. Moody?
No.
Mr. Reeves?
No.
Mr. Roberts?
No.
Okay. There being no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
On the fat, yes, that's okay.